بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. باب الغنى غنى النفس وقوله سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أيحسبون أن ما نمدهم به من مال وبنين إلى قول عاملون قال ابن عيينة لم يعملوها لا بد من أن يعملوها. وبه قال حدثنا أحمد بن يونس قال حدثنا أبو بكر قال حدثنا أبو حصين عن أبي صالح عن أبي هريرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ليس الغنى عن كثرة الغرض عرض ولكن الغنى غنى النفس. The chapter on that a person's richness and wealthiness is not by how much you have in your accounts or how much do you have or how expensive watches or cars you have on a driveway. Just to keep it into modern context, the Prophet ﷺ says that the richness is the richness of the heart, the internal, whoever is rich from inside. Al-ghina, and he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam that richness or wealthiness is not by having a lot of things. Things can only bring a lot of fill a lot of empty space, but it would not give you contentment. The actual contentment is the contentment of the heart, that a person feels that he has enough and he has sufficient what Allah has provided. You can have nothing and still be a rich man by being content in the situation you're in. Being content in the situation that you're in, that Allah has placed you in. باب فضل الفقر. وبه قال حدثنا إسماعيل قال حدثني عبد العزيز بن أبي حازم عن أبيه عن سهل بن سعد الساعدي أنه قال مر رجل على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال لرجل عنده جالس ما رأيك في هذا. I'm planning to now try to translate as we go, so it kind of keeps everybody awakened. Sahl ibn Sa'id al-Sa'idi says that a person passed by the Prophet ﷺ. He was sitting in a gathering and an unknown person passed by. The Prophet ﷺ said that, what do you say about this guy who just passed? They replied, Wallahi hariyun khataba yunkah wa in shafa'a yashfa'. If he is of a status, high status person, if he sends his proposal for marriage, his proposal will be accepted. If he does intercession on behalf of anyone, his intercession will be accepted. Right? Then the Prophet ﷺ was quiet, and then another person passed by. فسكت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ثم مر رجل آخر فقال له رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما رأيك في هذا. And the next person, he said, what do you say about this guy? The next person who passed by. فقال يا رسول الله هذا رجل من فقراء المسلمين هذا حري إن خطب لا ينكح وإن شفع لا يشفع وإن قال لا يسمع لقوله. He said this second person, he is of a status that he's one of the poor people. Let's think about this in the context of our own community, where we have someone who maybe none of us know. He's maybe from a very underserved community. Min fuqara al-Muslimin, from the poor. And it would be that if he sends his proposal for marriage, we reject it. A poor guy who wants to marry a daughter to someone who doesn't have a job, right? And if he intercedes on behalf of someone, his intercession is not accepted. And even if he says anything, nobody would take his word serious, because he's like nobody. The Prophet ﷺ, هذا خير من ملء الأرض مثل هذا. That this second person is better than the first one, even if the whole world is filled with that person, with that kind of people. Meaning that status, worldly status, it only gets you to the worldly things and the worldly affairs and achievements and name and fame. But we are the people of Akhirah, as we read in one of the chapters, that we are the people of akhirah. Akhirah focused. We're going to be akhirah focused. So someone who's maybe nobody, but he's very powerful. He's very heavy. He has a heavy weight. He's a heavyweight championship in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وبه قال حدثنا الحميدي قال حدثنا سفيان قال حدثنا الأعمش قال سمعت أبا وائل قال عدنا خبابا فقال هاجرنا مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نريد وجه الله. This story is about Khabbab radiallahu anhu, one of the great companions who was a very poor person. He suffered a lot. And he's talking about his story and his companions and his fellow Sahaba, right? And he says that we migrated, we were immigrants, right, with the Prophet ﷺ, and we only did it for the sake of Allah. فَوَقَعَ أَجْرُنَا عَلَى اللَّهِ. So the reward is also from Allah. We're not anticipating any return from anyone. فَمِنَّا مَنْ مَضَى لَمْ يَأْخُذْ مِنْ أَجْرِ شَيْئًا. Now there's two categories that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks about in Surah Al-Ahzab. He says, some of us, they left. And they were on the peak of what they were, meaning of their hardship and everything. They never got to see the fruit of their hard work, right? The first early Muslims, their hard work. For example, منهم مصعب بن عمير, the convoy to Medina, the first ambassador to the first Islamic state, the real Islamic state. Mus'ab bin Umayr radiallahu anhu is a young man who was a rich man, very, very rich, very famous also. He left everything, became one of the poorest, and then he died. قُتِلَ يَوْمَ أُحُدٍ وَتَرَكَ نَمِرَةً. He died in the battle of Uhud, and he only left behind what? Just one garment. One garment. فَإِذَا غَطَّيْنَا رَأْسَهُ بدت رجله. When we covered his face, his feet will uncover. وإذا غطينا رجليه بدا رأسه. If we covered his feet, his face will uncover. فأمرنا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أن نغطي رأسه ونجعل على رجليه من الإذخر. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said to cover the face and put some leaves on his feet. And then he says the second category, ومنا من أيعنت له ثمرته فهو يهديها, is someone that the fruit has come back, right? Seeing better days now. Now we're seeing the good days. We saw better days and now we're seeing, the best, right? Wealth came in. وبه قال حدثنا بالوليد قال حدثنا سلم بن زرير قال حدثنا أبو رجاء عن عمران بن حسين عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اطلعت في الجنة فرأيت أكثر أهلها الفقراء واطلعت في النار فرأيت أكثر أهلها النساء. تابع أبو أيوب عوف وقال صخر حماد بن جيح عن أبي رجاء عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما. A few ahadith are going to talk about some of the situations that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم was in and how the family and the companions lived their lives in Medina. This hadith it talks about, he says sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that he said on Mi'raj, perhaps on Mi'raj, he saw the people in Jannah, and the most of them were the poor people. The poor people are going to enter Jannah before the rich people because they're going to be accounted for, every dollar, every penny, right? The poor people have nothing to account for. Go, no IRS. And then he looked into the fire, Jahannam, and he saw that most of them are women. Most of them are women. One interpretation of this is that the Prophet ﷺ said about a specific aspect of Jahannam, not in a general sense because everybody's going to be there, men and women all together, but this specific place that he saw, most of them were women. And then the Prophet ﷺ also explained why he saw more women in that place more than men. And then he said about that they swear a lot and they disobey their husbands, right? Another interpretation of this hadith is that women are more than men. Even today's statistics, women are more than men. So, and we give them a little less place in the back, I guess. That's okay. وبه قال حدثنا أبو معمر. We can go on and on this hadith. It's not the time for that, but inshallah we'll continue. حدثنا أبو معمر قال حدثنا عبد الوارث قال حدثنا سعيد بن أبي عروبة عن قتادة عن أنس قال لم يأكل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم على خوان حتى مات وما أكل خبزا مرققا حتى مات. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم did not eat on a food table. On a food table where you have different items there. He didn't have that luxury. So he never had a table of food in his whole entire life. And he never ate thin bread or bread that is made from fine flour. وبه قال حدثنا عبد الله بن أبي شيبة قال حدثنا أبو سامة قال حدثنا هشام عن أبي عن عائشة رضي الله عنه قالت لقد توفي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وما في رفي من شيء يأكله ذو كبد إلا شطر شعير في رف لي فأكلت منه حتى طال علي فكلته ففني. Aisha رضي الله عنها says the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم passed away and I did not have anything in my home except for a little bag or a container that I had a little bit of barley. I had nothing else. I had nothing else for men, for women, for even animals. He said, "Du kabid," any living thing. Then she says that after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, I hold on to that little bag of barley, and I ate from it, and ate from it, and ate from it, and ate from it, ate from it. And one hadith says, for months she ate from it. And then one day she said, let me go and weigh this thing. How much is something that I'm not seeing, I'm not feeling? So she weighs it, and after that, in a couple of days it ended. The barakah was gone. So that's why when you buy and sell in transaction, you have to make sure that you give and take to the exact amount. That's mutaffif, the one who gives less, takes less, right? Sells less for more money, cheating, right? But when you have food at your home, you should not count how many breads left, how much. The barakah stays if you don't know. Tawakkul ala Allah. Reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those are the two differences between the two. باب كيف كان عيش النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه. Okay. This hadith is, I believe, is a little long hadith. Let's see. وبه قال حدثني أبو نعيم بنحو من نصف هذا الحديث قال حدثنا عمرو بن ذر قال حدثنا مجاهد أن أبا هريرة كان يقول الله الذي لا إله إلا هو. Abu Huraira, he is one of the companions who's always with the Prophet ﷺ. He's like his companion, he's like his person who's always there. He says, by Allah, إني إن كنت لأعتمد بكبدي على الأرض من الجوع وإن كنت لأشد الحجر على بطني من الجوع. That I would always be so hungry that at times I will lay down on my stomach on the earth. So it kind of gives me a little help. And sometimes I will tie a stone on my stomach out of hunger. وَلَقَدْ قَعَدْتُ يَوْمًا عَلَى طَرِيقِهِمْ الَّذِي يَخْرُجُونَ مِنْهُ. Now he's looking for someone to host him, someone to give him something, but he doesn't want to ask. So he's trying, amazing. This is an amazing way that he tries to figure out how to get some food. So he says, I sat on the door, next to the door, where people would exit, right? And then he says, the first person that I met at that time, فمر أبو بكر فسألته عن آية من كتاب الله ما سألت إلا ليشبعني. I started to ask, like, Imam Sahib, I have one question. I have a question. What is the interpretation of this particular ayah of the Quran? So he was thinking that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is going to give a long answer, and then he's going to follow Abu Bakr to his house, and Abu Bakr will say, why don't you come in and have something to eat? But that didn't happen. فَمَرَّ and then what happens? فَمَرَّ ولم يفعل ثم مر بي عمر فسألته عن آية من كتاب الله ما سألته إلا ليشبعني فمر ولم يفعل. He says it happened the same thing with Umar. I saw Umar coming. I asked him a question. He said, okay, he may go for a long answer, and then I'm going to join him in his house. That didn't happen. So then, ثم مر بي أبو القاسم. The Prophet ﷺ passed by. He just saw me and knew exactly what was going on. فتبسم حين رآني وعرف ما في نفسي وما في وجهي ثم قال أبا هر أو أبو هريرة قلت لبيك يا رسول الله. He said لبيك, I am present. قال الحق let's go. ومضى فأتبعته فدخل فاستأذن فأذن لي فدخل فوجد لبنا في قدح. He says that went to his house, entered the house, he had a bowl of milk. فقال من أين هذا اللبن؟ قالوا أهداه لك فلان أو فلانة. The Prophet ﷺ asked that, where did this milk come from? He said, someone gave it to us. قال أبا هر أو أبو هريرة. قلت لبيك يا رسول الله. قال الحق إلى أهل الصفة فادعوهم لي. Go to the people of Sufa and bring them. There might be like 70 of them or 100 of them or maybe 200. A lot of people. Go invite all of them. وأهل الصفة أضياف الإسلام. They are the guests of Islam. لا يأوون على أهل ولا مال ولا على أحد إلا إذا أتته صدقة بعث بها إليهم ولم يتناولوا منها شيئا. These are the people that didn't have any wealth, didn't have any family, didn't have anyone that they knew. Any sadaqah that came, the Prophet ﷺ will not take from it and he will give it to them. وإذا أتته هدية أرسل إليهم وأصاب منها. If a hadiyah, gift came, he would have some of it and give it to them. وأشركهم فيها فساءني ذلك. It became really difficult on me to go invite them because it's a little bowl of milk and it's me, my hunger, and then I have these 70 people to feed. فساءني ذا فقلت وما هذا اللبن في أهل الصفة كنت أحق أن أصيب من هذا اللبن شربة أتقوى بها فإذا جاءوا أمرني. The Prophet ﷺ told me فكنت أنا أعطيهم وما عسى أن يبلغني من هذا اللبن ولم يكن بين طاعة الله وطاعة رسوله بد. But at the same time, the Prophet ﷺ tell me to go and bring them. I have to do what the Prophet is telling me to do because the Prophet ﷺ is above anything. فأتتهم فدعوتهم. I invited them. فأقبلوا فاستأذنوا فأذن لهم وأخذوا مجالسهم من البيت. They all came in, sat down. The Prophet ﷺ said, قال يا أبا هر. قلت لبيك يا رسول الله. قال خذ فأعطهم. Give them the milk. فأخذت القدح فجعلت أعطيه الرجل فيشرب حتى يروى. I will give it to the first person. He will drink and drink and drink until he is up to his full, and he will give it back. ثم يرد علي القدح فأعطيه ثم أعطيه الرجل القدح فيشرب حتى يروى ثم يرد علي القدح فيشرب حتى يروى ثم يرد علي القدح حتى انتهيت إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. I kept on going from one person to the other all the way around until I came to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. وقد روي القوم, and everyone was full. وقد روي القوم كلهم فأخذ القدح. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم took the bowl فوضعه على يده فنظر إلي فتبسم. He looked at me and he smiled at me. قال يا أبا هر أو أبو هريرة. قلت لبيك يا رسول الله. He said, I'm there for you يا رسول الله. فقال بقيت أنا وأنت. It's only you and I left. قلت صدقت يا رسول الله. It's only the two of us left. قال قعد فاشرب. Sit down and drink. فقعدت فشربت. I sat down and I drank. قال اشرب فشربت. Drink more. He said, I drank more. فما زال يقول اشرب حتى قلت لا والذي بعثك بالحق ما أجد له مسلك. He says, the Prophet ﷺ kept on telling me to drink and drink and drink until there was no space left. قال فأرني. He said, show me the bowl. فأعطيته القدح. So I gave the bowl back to him. فحمد الله وسمى وشرب الفضلة. The Prophet ﷺ then drank the leftover milk, and that was sufficient for all the people. The barakah. وبي قال حدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا يحيى عن إسماعيل قال حدثنا قيس قال سمعت سعدا يقول إني لأول العرب رمى بسهم في سبيل الله ورأيتنا نغزو وما لنا طعام إلا ورق الحبلة وهذا السمر وإن أحدنا لا يضع كما تضع الشاه ما له خلط ثم أصبحت بنو أسد تعزرني على الإسلام خبت إذن وضل سعي. سعد بن أبي وقاص رضي الله عنه, he is the person who draw an arrow, the first one who threw an arrow in Islam. And he was from one of the great Sahaba, as we know. And he was one of the person also who protected the Prophet ﷺ in Uhud. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said something to him, he never said it to anyone. He said, Fidaka bi abi wa ummi. That usually the companions, like in the previous hadith, Abu Hurairah says that my life and my family, everybody be sacrificed for you. The Prophet ﷺ said to Sa'ad, throw, and my family and my parents will be sacrificed for you. It's a kind of giving it an honor. So he was honored for that. And he was one of the great companions. He said, I am the first one who threw a saham, an arrow in Islam, in the path of Allah. And we saw ourselves that we would go out for an expedition, and we had no food. We will eat the leaves of the tree. And then when we go to the bathroom, and when we will defecate, it will be just like goats and sheep, because of the dryness. Because just like they only eat greens, right? They don't eat regular food like we do. So that's how our intestines became. Allah. And then he says, what happened after that? After all that sacrifice, he was sent to be the leader, and time of Umar radiallahu anhu, of Banu Asad. And he used to lead the salat, and they used to come and give him a hard time. And they say, no, this is how we think that Islam should be. This is the interpretation of Islam, and they thought that they knew Islam better than him. And they would give him instruction, just like giving the Imam instruction how to do things, how to lead the salat and so on and so forth. And he said, if I don't know how to lead the salat, if I don't know my portion of Islam that I can lead you, then all of my effort that I've done in the past is all gone to loss, is all gone to vain. I've wasted my life, then it means. So in other words, he was saying that I know what I'm doing, right? I have learned from the Prophet ﷺ, and I'm doing according to what the Prophet ﷺ taught me. So in this hadith is indicating that how difficult it is to get to where Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas was a lot of effort. You don't become a scholar just by hearing a few lectures on YouTube or elsewhere and knowing a few things and say that I'm a very eloquent speaker and now I'm Shaykh al-Islam. That's not how it works. You have to work very hard for it. There's a couple of hadith, inshallah. We'll stop over here, I guess. Barakallahu feekum. Inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow.